A shout out to Ge.Holla and
Hey, Ge.Holla, G.Holla.
Hero, Ge.Holla. Show me the God here, man.
All y'all said entertainer, shout out my guy Ge.Holla of mycelebritylife. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we have two super cool guests, two young griots that is coming to give us some knowledge, some information, some wisdom. Without further ado, Tracey and Shayla, what's happening? I'm Ge.Holla. This is My Celebrity Life. How you all doing this morning?
Good. Thank you for having us. Hi.
Hey, thank you for having me. Hey, I'm absolutely cool. I want to jump into you guys' story real briefly because I only have so much time. We know that our history throughout all of the continents that's on the planet has a lot of great deal of whitewashing. And I just want to say thank God for you two sheroes that have come along to make sure that our story is intact. You make us feel so proud and so honored to even share this space with you and to be also on the same planet that two dope human beings are here. So if you could you all give us a little tiny background story about who you are, each one of you
are? So I'll jump in. So I am originally from right outside of Cleveland in Shaker Heights, Ohio. I attended HBCU, made my way up to NYC, where I attended Tisch, and I'm Harlem based. And from there, I've just been, working in the doc lane and doing just, the privilege of telling our story, and in many, through working with different directors, Stanley Nelson, and obviously working with Professor Gates.
Yeah, so me, I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and spent the bulk of my career working as a journalist for large institutions like NBC News and the New York Times before shifting into documentary filmmaking, which was always my first love, combining my love of filmmaking and history and being able to focus on films about these untold moments of African-American history, like who killed Malcolm X and the Black Church. And so to be able to work on this series with Professor Gates and Stacey is a real thrill.
That smooth, cool melody, man. You just hit us like pow, pow, pow. We wasn't even ready for all that right now. Thank you so much. I consider myself a baby historian too as well. And I know that throughout history, specifically in the Americas, it's this story or this narrative that we were all slaves and that we were not free. We didn't build anything. We didn't do anything. But something about the chronology of time and God or the creator that's causing us to revert back to reverse. Like you said, who killed Malcolm X? Who killed our great leaders and our ancestors by, that we have lost that chronology of time with. And here you come, a great young shero that comes along with that wonderful documentary and say, you know what, this is the makings of Black in America. It's been hidden. We are the substance. We are the carbon that built the atom that created everything that's Black in the universe and gave it color. We are the chosen of the God gene. You are the Eve that we are looking for, and thank you so much for that. Now, moving forward, this current of making Black in America, tell us more about that.
Well, this series is looking at, we talk about the struggle. A lot of people know that story, but a lot of people don't know about what's happening, with Black joy, what is happening behind the veil outside of the color line. And this story really focuses, starting with the Prince Hall Masons in 1775, all the way to Black Twitter, just looking at the spaces, the places, the people, the organizations and networks that we created for us, by us, how these places encouraged us, how they kept us, how they saved us in many instances. And we really wanted, we're excited to just tell just the other side of just the struggle, because we weren't, it's all about the struggle. We did laugh, we did love, we had community, we had families.
And you're right. We also helped build the Constitution. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I think it's the Equal Tribe. They're the ones Benjamin Franklin said if it were not for them, they structured out the Constitution for them. So they had an understanding of how to, put it together. And I just recently learned, too, that we also have a flag that was created in the 1900s. Forgot about the two Black men as well. And thank you for that. Because, a lot of times as children, and I watched them, and as we were children, you didn't identify with history, so it was boring. No one wanted to pay attention to it because it's the same old story. George Washington this, Benjamin Franklin that. And then you get older, you're like, I don't want to hear about that. But then when you start, like you're saying, when you discover, thanks to great young folks like you all, it makes it so much more powerful. How is it to create content and to curate content for those who will see your works in the future? And even long after both of you are gone, including myself, you will be in somebody else's library, which is their mind. How does that make you feel thinking about that, even 100 years from now?
Well, I definitely think that's a huge responsibility, which we, certainly take seriously. And we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is factual and researched well and true. So, we spent a lot of time researching and relying on our team of academic advisors to kind of help us curate the stories that we include in this series. And, we hope that at the end of the day, this comprehensive thing is certainly not every single story in Black America, but just a taste to get people wanting to learn more, wanting to make their own films, and wanting to expand the canon beyond the stories that we have been told. So, that's our hope. We've done our work, and now we hope people will take that work a step further.
So mote it be as it shall be done. I don't have much time, so I may just ask this fast and last question. When it comes to knowledge that you both have discovered during the making of all of your films and your works and things of that nature, what is something that's the most memorable to you that you discovered along your journey with Black history?
Well, I'll speak to the series because this was expansive of what we're covering. I think, the color conventions, I knew about it, but I didn't know just the weight and the importance that they really carried. The heavy hitters that were Frederick Douglass that were participating in it. The fact that, these Black men and a couple women on the sidelines were practicing, democracy as, a country that was not recognizing them as first-class citizens. And also the African Grove Theater. Black folks were doing theater in the 1800s. So who would have thought in New York City? So I think just showing that we were at every aspect of life, socially, culturally, politically, spiritually, we have a footprint. And it may not be for others, but it was definitely for us.
Very well said. Any final words to give somebody to uplift them in their very essence of who they are? Because as it's time right now, a lot of us are feeling disenfranchised by the system, which has been going on for quite some time, as you all both know. Any words of wisdom to uplift the next directors or the next video people, or even just the next everyday 9-to-5 workers about who you are to rediscover yourself? Anything in your heart and your mind, your soul?
Well, I will just say that certainly after emerging from this really tough period of the pandemic and, this intense period of racial reckoning, I think this film is coming at a really opportune time to give people some encouragement that, like, even in the darkest periods of American history, African Americans were innovating, were supporting each other, were affirming each other, were creating their own worlds, despite what was happening externally. And I think that's a lesson for all of us to take in this period, that even when you're counted out, if you can rally with your community, that you can thrive, not just survive, but you can thrive. So we hope that that's a takeaway from our series.
I have taken away from it. It's a great meal that you have prepared for me this evening, this morning, this afternoon, whenever people may see this. If I could get you to do one thing, and I promise you I'll leave you alone, could you please let the people know where to find the series at the time that it's airing, and also that you guys are on My Celebrity Life, and I'm GeHolla. That's holla like holla, 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 holla. And I'll be out. Thank you so much.
So the series, it premieres next Tuesday, and 9 o'clock, that's Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. For those on the West Coast, check your local listing. And it's going to air the consecutive Tuesdays from then on for the month of October. So make sure you set your DVR, whatever you need to do to tune in to watch Making Black America through the grapevine. And so Shale and I are on My Celebrity Life with Ge.Holla.
Holla, 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 holla.
Holla, Ge.Holla. Wait, should I do it? Take two. We're on My Celebrity Life with Ge.Holla.
Ooh, I got two of them. Y'all don't have two. Y'all won't have two. I'll be the only person with two shout outs at one time. Thank you so much.